know that you are donating your time for us to learn more about logotherapy and to help us see things from a different perspective, to enhance our professional life, our life with our families, and so on and so forth. So we're looking forward to this lecture. We've been looking forward to it since we agreed to have it. So I'm gonna leave the floor to 𝗟𝗵𝗱. And before I leave the floor to 𝗟𝗵𝗱, I'd like to thank him and thank his team, the CE, for partnering with us on these alumni lectures and being so supportive. عن جد 𝗟𝗵𝗱, we're so proud of our colleagueship with you. So 𝗟𝗵𝗱, I leave the floor to you to introduce Dalia. And thank you, Dalia. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Abdallah.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Abdallah, for the nice words and for the intro. The pleasure is ours as well. And in my turn, I would like to welcome all attendees to this webinar, hoping it will be a beneficial and a fruitful one. When I met her earlier this year, she shared her story with me, which is quite a compelling and enlightening story in finding meaning and purpose. I hope you will be able to hear it one day. I'm talking about Ms. Dalyia Zgheib, the founder of Logotherapy MENA, and herself, she's a logotherapist. Logotherapy MENA is the first and official logotherapy institution in the MENA region, in the whole MENA region. The concept came from the works of Dr. Viktor Frankl, and this study is known as the third Viennese school of psychotherapy after Freud and Adler. Today, unfortunately or fortunately, and more than any time before, people are increasingly asking themselves what on earth they are here for, let alone our people here in Lebanon who are going through an existentialist crisis on a daily basis. This is what encouraged Dalia to kick off her regional activities from Lebanon and to choose Lebanon as a base. And this is something I am very proud of. And to show support for her case and for believing in Lebanon, and because we share the same values and the same goals, I am happy to announce today for the first time that LAU Continuing Education and Logotherapy MENA will be joining hands together and offering a series of certificates and associate diplomas around the topic of logotherapy for different audiences. I will let Dalia speak about that, and the details of which we will all be sharing with you very soon. I will stop here just to tell you that Dalia will be introducing the topic for around 40 minutes. At the end, we're going to have between 15 and 20 minutes for Q&A. So please leave your questions till the end, either in the chat box or in the Q&A box, and we will accommodate them. Without further ado, Dalia, the floor is all yours.
Thank you so much, 𝗟𝗵𝗱, for the intro. And before starting, I would like to thank the Continuing Education for their trust and their belief in the project. And our hands will gather very soon to kick off, as you have said, the different options that we will talk about it at the end. And I would like to thank Mr. Abdallah and his team, LAU alumni, for giving us this opportunity to talk more about the topic. I will start my screen sharing, and from there we will escalate things accordingly. I just want to one moment to make sure that the screen is visible with all its details. Is it visible? Amazing. Okay. The topic for today is logotherapy, finding meaning, purpose, and success. I will start with this quote for Dr. Viktor Frankl, which is, "Don't aim at success. The more you aim at it and make it a target, the more you are going to miss it. Success is an unintended side effect of one personal dedication to a cause greater than oneself." I will not explain more on this topic because we will explore it together during the presentation. As Mr. 𝗟𝗵𝗱 introduced me, my name is Dalyia Zgheib. I'm the founder of Logotherapy MENA. Logotherapy MENA is a meaning-centered institution with a primary cause to help people find meaning and purpose through logotherapy. To note that Logotherapy MENA is the official representative of Viktor Frankl Institute of Logotherapy, Texas, USA, and also an accredited member at Viktor Frankl Institute, Vienna. The vision of the Institute is to build communities and empower individuals to undergo a fulfilled life that is anchored on meaning, because as we will see in logotherapy, meaning is the essence of being and the core of all the success in our life, and this by spreading the philosophy, teaching, and practices of logotherapy in the MENA region. If you'd love to know more about the Institute, about the work, about logotherapy, you can visit our website, www.logotherapymena.com. We have chosen in the title 3 main words, which are very big, crucial words: meaning, purpose, and success. Whoa, there's an interrelation between all of these, and one can lead to the other. One is the cause of the other, and they are all crucial and beautiful things to have in our life. So what is this relation? How can we reach it, arrive to it? And especially, what is the relation between meaning, purpose, and success? In order to be able to explore the topic more, it is very essential that I would give you an idea about what logotherapy is. Logotherapy is the meaning reference worldwide technique developed by Dr. Viktor Frankl, who is by himself a worldwide known psychiatrist and neurologist. He is also the author of Man's Search for Meaning, the book. I advise you to read it. It's eye-opener, in which he shares his experience in the concentration camp in World War II. And in the second section of the book, he talks more about logotherapy, its basis, and why it is developed. So I advise you to read the book, and you can also find it online as free PDF versions. You can download it and you can read it. It is called Man's Search for Meaning, and I have it here with me always. Logotherapy, what it is? Logotherapy is 2 words, 2 main words. Logo, which means logos. It is a word from ancient Greek. It means meaning, what is meant, what is intended for your life, in what do you find meaning. And the word therapy, why I always explain what logotherapy is, because when you read the title, you think that it is something related to therapy and to healing and only. It's a clinical sector, but no. Logotherapy is not limited to the clinical sector, because each one of us needs meaning and purpose in his life. This is why the word therapy, it means healing, health, growth, and fulfillment through meaning. So meaning is the core. It's like we have a fruit with its inside seed. Meaning is the seed, and the outside fruit is everything else. We should start from meaning in order to flourish and grow. So when we say therapy, it does not only mean healing and the clinical side, it means healing, health, growth, and fulfillment. This is why when we talk about logotherapy, we say that it is a path of being through meaning. It's a journey, it's a process in life, that it's not restricted to any corner or to just a specific community or sector. Logotherapy can be worked with individuals, educational systems, in families, organizations, institutions, community, politics, and government. Hope that we would reach a leadership through logotherapy in our country and in our region. Things would be totally different when it is based on meaning, not pleasure or power, as we will see. And there is something that needs to be into consideration, that meaning is the zeitgeist of our time. Zeitgeist, it's a German word, and it means the spirit of our era. You see that lots of people now are asking about their meaning and purpose in life, or if they pass through a crisis or a challenge, what is the meaning of it? So now it is our time, and by meaning and purpose, we will take humanity to the next level. So it's very important that this topic be very well exposed, and that you would be aware about it because you are in this era, so you will be in it somehow or sooner or later. So we're going to talk about the pursuit of meaning because it has a direct relation to the pursuit of success. Logotherapy, as 𝗟𝗏 did mention in his introduction, it is called the III.B School of Psychotherapy, and there is a reason why it is entitled so. If you see with me in these three sectors, we have first Freud. Freud, he established the psychoanalysis, which talks about the will to pleasure or the pursuit of pleasure. It means if I have food, shelter, car, job, and money, then I am okay. But how many times we have these pleasures, but we feel an emptiness inside and there is something that is missing. So pleasures are important, but by themselves, they are not enough. We go to the second Vienna School of Psychotherapy, which is the School of Individual Psychology established by Alfred Adler. It talks about the will to power or the pursuit of power. It means if I am in a position of power in my life, then I am successful and I don't need anything else. But how many people in position of power, they abuse their power and do bad actions towards other people? So power by itself is not enough, and they by themselves, they have problems. We arrived to logotherapy that was established by Dr. Viktor Frankl. Dr. Viktor Frankl, he was in great collaboration with Freud and Adler, but he agreed with them a lot that there is something missing. It's not just about pleasure or power. This is why he was a prisoner of World War II in a concentration camp where the Nazis took him. While he was in prison, he was deprived of pleasure. He was deprived of power. He got sick. He had no food, no shelter. He got depressed even, and he is a psychiatrist and neurologist, don't forget, but we are humans too. But at the same time, he refused to say that there is no meaning in what he is passing through. So he discovered the meaning to help his inmate prisoners not to commit suicide. So this is why he said that I have found meaning even in the worst circumstances. This is why he developed logotherapy before, but the concentration camp was like a playground in order for him to apply logotherapy and to say that, yes, meaning is present and it is inherent no matter what are the circumstances. This is why we talk in logotherapy about the pursuit of meaning. So life is not primary a quest for pleasure or a quest for power, but a quest for meaning. And here, what do I mean by that? It means that I should put the pleasure and the power and success and happiness aside. No, we're not saying so, but we are saying that the core is meaning, and happiness, success, satisfaction, and peace of mind are secondary effects for the pursuit of meaning, and they are not the mere end. This is why we never consider in logotherapy that our end and our goal is happiness or pleasure or power. The goal is the meaning, because if the mere end was just happiness or pleasure or power, we will reach a fragile, non-authentic success that will fall down under the first hit, as we say, hit between brackets, because they can be many hits, be it internal or outside conditions. So in logotherapy, we do not have a strict road to happiness and success. يعني مثل ما بنقول ما عندنا shortcuts. We do not have shortcuts. We have to pass by meaning in order to reach happiness and success. And there is something very important that we always consider, and I used to consider it too before, is that life owes me something. This is not true. Life does not owe me any success or happiness, but life offers me meaning opportunities, meaning potentials that if I have actualized it, I will arrive to a true happiness and true success. So the true road to happiness and success, it is through meaning and it is not just a shortcut, or it will be something temporary and non-lasting. There are consequences if we don't pursue in meaning, and there is an effect on success. What is this effect and how can we explain it? If we take it from the professional side, a work that is exempt from meaning has drastic consequences of the overall well-being and mental health. Imagine yourself pursuing a work or pursuing a success that it's not meaningful for you. You will burn out. In logotherapy, we call it that we repress our will to meaning, which leads us to emptiness, frustration, or what we call the existential vacuum. And this existential vacuum will lead in outer symptoms for loneliness, distress, anger, addictive behaviors, risky and maladaptive behaviors, and it can lead also to suicide. This is why this existential vacuum, that it is due to the repression of the will to meaning, will contribute for the individual to be a low resilient individual and consequently have a deteriorated leadership. This is how the things are important with meaning. So the core should be the meaning in order to avoid the existential vacuum and consequently develop solid resilience and authentic leadership. So there is a direct relation between meaning and between success, an effect on resilience and leadership. So as Dr. Viktor Frankl says, the quest for meaning is the key to mental health and human flourishing. We cannot flourish without meaning. We cannot grow and develop without meaning. So the first truth for today is seeking through meaning is the solely authentic way for success. There is no other way and there are no shortcuts. We are not saying that the road is easy. The road is so challenging, especially if you are paving an unpaved road. But if you are on meaning and purpose, nothing will stop you and the challenges will be overcome. Meaning and purpose. Why am I not saying only meaning or only purpose? Haven't you noticed? Well, meaning and purpose are two words that are nowadays interchangeably used, but they are not the same. And it is very important to know the difference between both in order to be able to be on an authentic road of success. Meaning is related to values and purpose is related to actions. They are different, but they are in relation the one with the other. Let us explore each section and the relation to success. Meaning and purpose discovery requires different elements, not only one element. We have the freedom, the responsibility, three-dimensionality of the human being, the attitude, uniqueness, values, choice, conscience, and self-transcendence. So this is why imagine yourself doing a tabbouleh with just tomatoes. Would it work? No. It's the same here. If you want to find and discover meaning, there are ingredients to be taken into consideration. And it is solely your responsibility to discover meaning. I am a logotherapist and I help people find meaning and purpose. But can you come to me and say to me, Dalia, with your baguette magique, do a magic and let me know the meaning of my life? It doesn't work this way. Meaning is not a magic potion. It's not a prescription that we can give. There is a process of discovery. It is unique for each person, and it is your responsibility to discover meaning. So your meaning requires movement, and while you are on the movement, these actions will give you clarity. One of the main ingredients in meaning and purpose discovery, and that is in direct relation to success, are the values. Why? Finding your meaning is knowing your values. You cannot find your meaning and be successful in it, be it in a professional or personal setting, without knowing your values. As you see in this pyramid, values, they represent your belief system, your authentic identity. This is why in logotherapy, we do not say you have values. We say you are values, because values are who you are. They form authentically your inner identity that will reflect in the outer if you have discovered it from inside. So values are very important. They constitute your belief system, and they are who you are. There is a direct relation between values, meaning, and purpose and reality. If you see, values are in the middle. They are from a side important for you to discover meaning and purpose, and from the other side, in order to put this meaning and purpose into reality, but also to deal with reality. Okay? So if you take out the values, you cannot have a relation between meaning and purpose and reality. You will not find your meaning and purpose, and consequently, you will not be able to apply it in reality. So values are crucial and are very important. They are crucial to live by who you authentically are, discover what is meaningful and purposeful to you in your professional and personal life, reach fulfillment, and consequently genuine success. I will see with you the scale of success and fulfillment, and to overcome challenges. And in logotherapy, we identify values into 3 parts: attitudinal, creative, and experiential. Attitudinal, they are by which you deal with unavoidable situations that are non-controllable to you. The creative values, it is what you give to the world through your deed, through your work, and through your hobbies. And the experiential values is what you take from the world, for example, through love, not necessarily through love of boyfriend, girlfriend, or a man and a wife. It can be for pets, it can be for friends, it can be family. Also, you experience it through nature, through art. So as you see, values are not also in a certain corner, and they are restricted to a certain sector. This is why in logotherapy we talk about not balance, we talk about a meaningful balance of values. And a very important thing is that these values should be self-chosen. Of course, the family, the society, community, peers, role models, they affect our knowledge of values or picking the values. But it's very important that these values should not be imposed, they should be chosen. This is why, for example, in the Meaning and Purpose Discovery Program, we explore each type of values in detail, their hierarchy, and how to put action on them in order for you to arrive to meaning and purpose. So values are very important and they are very crucial. It means, like, for example, you have a car filled with fuel, which is now very expensive in Lebanon, but you don't have the key to turn on the car. How it will move? It won't move. So the values are the key that would turn your car in order to move and to arrive to a certain destination, a meaningful one, actually. So the second truth for today is that reaching meaningful success requires values and self-chosen values. You cannot be having a vision for a meaningful success that you are pursuing without knowing authentically who you are, and if this success looks like who you are. Okay, you cannot be reaching success just for the pleasure or the power of it, because after a certain time you will arrive to a professional burnout and things won't move well and you will go into the existential vacuum. So reaching meaningful success requires values. We have talked about values. Now, what about actions? We have said that the purpose is related to actions. In logotherapy, the purpose means actualizing your meaning. It means putting your meaning into practice. And as we have talked before, that we do not talk about balance, we talk about meaningful balance. Here also in the purpose, we do not talk about goals, we talk about MPGs, meaningful and purposeful goals, because putting random goals is hurtful, is risky, and it won't lead you anywhere. So MPGs are a big part of your success, and they are the goals that are based on the values that matters to you and not random goals. Read with me this sentence. I love it a lot, and it's one of my best quotes that I work in my life. Sorry, I have lost electricity, but I'm still connected. Not all purposes are meaningful, but all meanings are purposeful. It means not all the actions that you put serves a value, but if you have started from the point of a value, you will surely arrive to put meaningful action. So value should be the point of start, that on it we would put an action, a meaningful action in order to arrive. So not all purposes are meaningful, but all meanings are purposeful. And if we are aware of meaningful and purposeful goals, this will give us a motivation to change, or else we will be stuck in our place. Whereas if we don't have meaningful and purposeful goals, this will lead us to what we call the existential vacuum that we have seen above. This will affect our resilience, and it will affect our leadership and consequently our success. So we should not talk anymore about goals. We should talk about meaningful and purposeful goals. And of course, there are ways for us to discover these MPGs through exercises, through reflections, through programs. So as you see with me till now, it's a whole process. It's not a question and answer. It requires knowledge, awareness, steps, moving along. So it's a beautiful journey. So the third truth for today is that reaching meaningful success requires meaningful and purposeful goals related to the unique values. Bear attention with me. I have said the unique values because many times we arrive at a point that we compare ourselves with others, or where we are in our journey with others. We should not do this comparison because the other person is different than me. My journey is different than his journey. My values are different than his values or her values. So reaching meaningful success, we need MPGs and we need unique values. The random goals will lead you to existential vacuum, and we will have consequences after. We arrive to the point of success and fulfillment. It's a very interesting, beautiful point that I put in practice a lot when I am, of course, working with everyone, but at the current moment, it is being used a lot in my organizational development workshops and program, because it has a big effect on the vision, on the authentic success, and it takes into consideration 4 parts, as we will see together. Before going into the scale, I would love to read this saying with you. Listen with me how beautiful it is. Everyone has his own specific vocation or mission in life. There's no competitiveness or alikeness. Everyone must carry out a concrete assignment that demands fulfillment. Therein, he cannot be replaced, nor can his life be repeated. Thus, everyone's task is unique as his specific opportunity to implement it. How beautiful to know that we are unique in our success, but at the same time, we have responsibility into making this success coming true. And this can only be done through meaning. There is no other way. As we have talked before about values, this quote focus on uniqueness, because even, for example, if me as Dalia, I am doing logotherapy, and another person is also working in logotherapy, we are not the same. We have the same topic maybe, but we do not have the same ways of implementation, of communication, of strategies. So I am unique in what I do, and consequently, I am irreplaceable, but also consequently, the responsibility is bigger to make this uniqueness feasible into practice. We arrive to the success fulfillment scale. Look at the scale, how beautiful it is. We see that we have 2 axes and 4 ingredients. We have fulfillment, success, despair, and failure. How can we explore it and why it is important? It's very important for us to see at the current moment where we are placed in order to grow more. And it is okay if we are in a quadrant that we don't like, but is what most important is how to get out of there and move into the upper right quadrant. Why the upper right quadrant is important? As you see, it is the quadrant where fulfillment and success, they are together. What does that mean? It means that success without fulfillment will lead me to what? It will lead me to the upper down quadrant, where you see the term existential vacuum that we have talked before. You see how things, they are related to each other? If I am successful, but there is no meaning, I will be in despair. Whilst if I am successful and I work on meaning, I am on purpose, I will be fulfilled. Also, I can be in a quadrant where I am fulfilled. I love what I do. Or, for example, I have discovered meaning in a certain situation, but at the same time, there are lots of things that are failures and that are stopping me from moving on to be successful. I will see with you examples. Don't worry for you to understand a bit the scale more after this slide. And I can be in a position where I am in despair, and also I am a failure materialistically or with pleasure or with power, and I am not doing anything about it in order to move to the upper right quadrant. Let's take some examples. If we take, for example, Steve Jobs, if I look at him, he is a person who was successful, and he took Apple into a beautiful level, though he had so much challenges all throughout his process. But because he was on meaning, he didn't give up. He was fulfilled even in challenges, and he kept on, and he did arrive to a success to create a company that is not local nor regional, but international. If we take, for example, another example, Kurt Cobain. Kurt Cobain is the frontliner of Nirvana, right? Kurt Cobain, he's a singer and a guitar player, and he used to compose songs also. He was so successful. He was famous. He had lots of money. He is an idol for many people. His voice is so beautiful. The songs are so beautiful. But he committed suicide, even if he was successful. So the materialistic success and the power, are they enough? No. If I am not on meaning, if I have emptiness and existential vacuum in my life, this will lead me to despair, and my success is not enough and can lead me to consequences and inefficient places. So it's not enough to have success. Success should be based on meaning in order to reach fulfillment and grow in the fulfillment scale. And as I have told you, and I'll tell you again, it is okay if we find ourselves at many times in our life in a different quadrant, or in a quadrant that we don't like. What is most important is what we will do about it to move from it. I'll give you another example. It's not listed here. If you have a homeless and drug addict, the homeless does not have a home, no money, no power, no food, and he is also or she is a drug addict, then she or he is in despair. If they stay as a homeless drug addict, it means by their own choice they are there. But if they have took necessary actions in order to move on to another quadrant, then this is what will make the difference. So the fourth truth for today is that success by itself is not enough. To be genuine, it should be accompanied by fulfillment and consequently based on meaning. Always remember that. Here with logotherapy, we do not talk about success. We talk about meaningful fulfillment that will consequently lead to success. Okay, so this success fulfillment scale is very important, and you can be authentic where you are now and where you want to move. Of course, there are exercises that can be put in place in order to explore more this success fulfillment scale and to take the necessary action to move into the upper right quadrant. We arrived to a point that it's very important to many of us, even to me. Meaning at work. What a beautiful title. To note that the meaning at work, it's driving its way not only in Lebanon and in our region through logotherapy, but also worldwide, where you see lots of workshops and trainings are being done on this topic. So it's the future and it has started. In the hand of meaning, that's what I call it, there are different ingredients. One of these ingredients is the self-transcendence. What is it, the self-transcendence? It is that to have a meaningful work and meaningful success, we have a two-sided vision, that it's based on fulfillment, that it's related to me, by which I would get pleasure, power, and live my meaning. And also through self-transcendence, it is going beyond, going further than myself to another. This is why to have meaning at work, we talk about what it's called the I-thou relationship. It means what I do is not only for me. What I do is for me and for others. This is why to have a meaningful success and meaning at work, it should be a two-sided vision, or else we would enter into self-centeredness and we would be have left aside the greater cause for which we are working. So meaning at work is based on two, fulfillment and self-transcendence. And here I will read with you a quote from Dr. Victor also. The more one forgets himself by giving himself to a cause to serve or another person to love, the more human he is and the more he actualizes himself. It's very important in success to know that we are not working solely for ourselves. What we are doing should be first for a greater cause, and then, or in parallel, I will not say then, to ourselves. That's the only way to reach authentic success. So the fifth truth for today is not working only for the self, you, but also for another, a cause, is the real fulfilled success. Don't forget, we didn't came here on earth to actualize ourselves. We did came here on earth to live our uniqueness, discover our meaning and purpose, and through it reach success, but also to benefit our community, our work, our colleagues, our families, and to leave a meaningful mark in this world. So how can I leave a meaningful mark if I am working solely for myself? The genuine success should include an I, thou, me, and others. I will give you an idea a bit about logotherapy and its application in this field. So logotherapy, where and how. The target sectors of logotherapy that it's being worked on in Lebanon and the region, they target 5 main big sectors: individuals, educational systems, helping professionals, companies, institutions, NGOs, and civil society. Because we consider that each of these parts is crucial for the success of our community and consequently for building a meaningful nation that is based on solid foundations, not just on shallow ones. This is why each one of you as individual is very responsible on how to drive the success of this nation through the discovery of his or her talent and putting it into practice in order to reach a meaningful success of a whole nation. We have the Meaning and Purpose Discovery Program, which is the catalyst of meaning and purpose discovery, by which you would explore your values, the hierarchy, putting meaningful and purposeful goals, working on what we call the meaningful vision board, not just a normal vision board. And it includes what we call the Purpose in Life test, that is an assessment where you are now in your life and where you are going to head. This is one of the programs, very important programs, that we will work with the LAU, continuing education, and bringing it into reality for our community. If you are a helping professional, be it coaches, team leaders, organizational or industrial psychology, psychotherapists, psychiatrists, there are programs also for logotherapy in order to integrate it in your practice or with the people that you work with. We have the Logotherapy in Coaching Practices program that is addressed for coaches, team leaders, and everyone who is in encounter with people, for example, capacity building. And it will help you to put logotherapy tools in practice to use it with your teams or with the people you coach. As for the therapists, we have the Logotherapy in Clinical Practice program that will let you equip to use logotherapy in your clinical practice. There is also the full logotherapy curriculum, which is almost a university degree, which is accredited by the American Psychological Association for Continuing Education, where you dive deep more in logotherapy. Of course, for each type of program, there might be prerequisites. They are to be explored in detail. And these two are integrated within the collaboration with the CE. In addition to that, logotherapy workshops are always available and the topics are different. We have, for example, days for organizational development through logotherapy, where you can explore with your teams choices, values, decision-making, pursuit of meaning, how to turn possibilities into realities. We have the Meaning and Purpose Discovery, the Well-Being Workshop, Resilience Workshop, the Values Workshop, Meaning at Work, how to transform challenges into triumph. There's a bunch of topics that can be explored through logotherapy. And also to take into consideration that NGOs and social institutions are playing a very crucial part in the success of our nation at Lebanon. So this is why logotherapy can be used for people development, children empowerment, women empowerment, social impact. Also to note that logotherapy worldwide is part of many funding programs throughout the UN and other worldwide NGOs where they are using logotherapy, especially with child and youth empowerment. I will almost finish with you with this quote of Dr. Viktor Frankl. Then you will live to see that in the long run, I say, success will follow you precisely because you had forgotten to think about it. If the mere end is the success, things won't go well. Whilst if you are on meaning and purpose, you will arrive there. Do you think that setting the stepping stone at this current situation through logotherapy, MENA, is easy, especially in Lebanon? No, it's not. But logotherapy, MENA, won't stop and won't give up no matter what happened. And these programs will be brought to people because we are on meaning and purpose, because we have a greater cause to instill logotherapy for our people in Lebanon and the region and our community. So be careful not to put success as the mere end. Start from meaning and go there through the road to success. I always wish something by the end of each webinar or session I give. I wish you that may your life be a pursuit of meaning, because this is the only way by which you will arrive You will live your uniqueness, and you will be where you are supposed to be. And remember, we are created on purpose for a purpose. We are not created randomly. And in addition to the website, www.logotherapymina.com, I invite you to visit our social media. We're available on Facebook, LinkedIn, Insta, and Twitter, and you may be in contact through email or phone number anytime you want. And on the website, you may explore the different options through which you can know more about logotherapy through the 9 big areas that we have. Thank you for listening. I will stop the screen share. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your attention. I hope that the topic had brought you some insight regarding how logotherapy sees success and the importance of meaning and purpose and its relation to arrive to genuine, fulfilled, trustworthy success. Thank you. I guess now we will go into the Q&A session, in which I would be glad and happy to receive your questions. I want, if we can, maybe 𝗟𝗶𝗶, if you can assist me a bit in the questions, if anyone has.
Yeah, I will read out the questions, and please, for all participants, use either the Q&A window or the chat window for that purpose. We have a question from Ryan, who's interested to know if logotherapy is only applied to depressive disorders in clinical settings, or whether it's also valid for other mood or personality disorders.
Okay. Ryan, thank you for the question. I will start from a point. Logotherapy is not only for the sick. Logotherapy is for the healthy too. Okay? Each one of us needs meaning and purpose in his life, because this is why we are created. The second thing, logotherapy is applied in all clinical settings. What differs are one main point: either to use it as a main technique by itself, or to use it as a complementary technique in addition to other techniques that are used. And there are no general yes or no answer. It depends on each case of each patient, because you know that individuality of the patient is very important. Even when you use a technique, it will be different from a person into another. So of course, logotherapy, they can be applied in depressive states in order to find with these depressive people a meaning, even if it is small, but that it's available in one of the values area, and to explore it with him and pull him into action in addition to other disorders. I will give you an example here. In one of the books of Dr. Viktor Frankl, he talks about a schizophrenic patient who came to him. She was getting treated with another doctor. So what he decided to do with her is that he told her, you are getting treated for your schizophrenic symptoms with another doctor. What we will do now is that we will find a way, when you have the schizophrenic crisis, for it to be more light on you. So through the value discovery, they have arrived to a point where they have discovered that this patient loves a lot to paint. So during her crisis, she went into painting, which alleviated her symptoms. And at the same time, she said that I am being able to put my thoughts in the waiting room. Okay? So logotherapy is to be used in any kind of symptom, but of course, either as complementary technique or as a main technique.
Dalia, can you please expand on the subject of self-destructive behavior and its relation to logotherapy? How would you deal with such a situation?
Okay. Self-destruction, it means that there is something going wrong in the value system. Okay? There are an emptiness somewhere that is leading people to go into, we say it, risky and maladaptive behavior. And the role of logotherapy is to let this person make more sense in his life. And this is by working on meaning. And here, I want you to understand something. In existentialism, there are no Q&A answers, or there are steps 1, 2, 3, 4, as for example, you use with the CBT or with the EMDR. Here, there are an exploration of the person in order to divert his self-destructive behavior into additional things. I will give you an example. Self-destructive behavior can be diverted simply into creative values by finding a hobby for this person where he can put his energy out into a meaningful and purposeful way. In this way, his self-destructiveness can be directed into something outer than himself and not harming himself.
Dalia, is there a minimum age for logotherapy, I think from a patient perspective?
Yes.
For instance, high school students?
Okay. With logotherapy, there are no age. There is something I didn't mention here. There is also something called logopedagogy, which are specific programs related to transmitting the idea of logotherapy to people since early ages. Because, for example, in the States, they work on something. In addition to teaching people math and physics and English, and they are very important, but it's very important to work also on the character development of the persons. This is why they start to work in logotherapy even in school from early ages. For high school students, the most effective ways are the individual sessions, the workshops, and the meaning and purpose discovery program. Because when they discover themselves and their values, they can have a better choice of career, they can have a better positioning and placement for themselves for the next step in their life. So for the high school students, there is a specific thing. For example, if you go up into midlife crisis, many people such as myself, I had a good position in a company, but I have decided to stop and to go to logotherapy. I was in midlife and I was searching for meaning, and I have found it because of a certain process. If you go to retirement, the retired people, when they stop their work, they go into a cycle of emptiness. So what would they do? You direct them into values discovery to put also meaningful and purposeful goals for things that they wanted to do, let's say before, and they have missed it, or they can do it now. So with logotherapy, we have no restriction for age. It can start from early ages till the end. And this is for one simple truth. Dr. Viktor Frankl used always to say, meaning is, I always take a breath before it, meaning is available until the last breath. Okay, so we have no age for meaning. It's independent from time and space.
We are getting bombarded with questions, so I'll try to be selective, objectively.
Okay. Okay.
Zainab is asking if she does not find purpose in serving others.
Okay.
Any other techniques or steps to follow to find out what means for her?
Okay. I advise you in something. Zena, her name, right? Or Zena?
Yes.
Okay. I advise you in something. Maybe the kind of service that you are doing is not related to a certain value. I will give you an example. The value of server, because I got something on the server here. The value of service is on top in my values hierarchy. I used to go and work with poor people. I have tried to do a different thing for service, but I was not fulfilled. My fulfillment was in logotherapy. So I advise you to do, if you are not fulfilled in service, you have to explore your values to know which kind of service you want to do. Maybe doing tart for people. I don't know. It can be that weird and that simple. Maybe not being in a clinic, but establish a retreat house for someone. So you have to know, maybe not serving people, maybe serving animals in our country. So you need to explore the kind of service that you love. And here too, service by itself is not enough. You have to work on the balance of values in order for you to be fulfilled.
This should answer 𝗟𝗏 question as well, because he had a dilemma on two different meanings. And George, I believe the same answer applies to you. Miriam is asking whether this has been used or could be used with or to treat addictions.
Absolutely, because the main reason of addiction is the existential vacuum. Those persons who lost meaning in their lives because of many consequences, be it internal or external, they have to get a sense of meaning in order to get out. But there is a very important point here. Logotherapy by itself is not enough as to be used as a technique by itself for treatment. Addict people, they have their medication, they have their special treatment for rehab. Logotherapy comes in general at the last stages after rehab, when they want to go out to the community again. Now what? We work on the values, we work on MPGs for them when they will be out in the community again, not to have relapses and not to have recidivism, so they would be individuals on meaning in their life. So we do not talk about treatment of addiction. Logotherapy moves in parallel with the treatment of addiction, and if needed for rehab, and it comes as a very efficient tool by itself at the end after rehab.
Dalia, to honor the time, I will have to stop here and sincerely apologize for all the questions and the participants to whom I have not answered. I strongly urge you to stay in touch and to follow us, because as we mentioned in the intro, we will be launching programs with Logotherapy MENA. So please follow us on social media, and maybe, who knows, and I'm thinking of this right now, when we launch the program, we might do another webinar, maybe a more detailed one and more focused one. Yes. Dalia, I would like to thank you very, very, very much. This has been very interesting as usual. From my side, I look forward to working with you, and this has been amazing. Abdullah, do you want to have any final word?
I want to take this opportunity to thank Dalia Anjad. This was really nice.
You now more a bit about logotherapy now.
Of course, and I wanna know more even. So I'll be following. I will be checking with 𝗟𝗏 about the courses and all that. So Anjad, it was an eye opener. We know things, but people put them in a specific perspective that هيك بيفتحنا عيوننا على شيء. I really enjoyed the hour. Thank you so much, Dalia. Really, thank you. And I thank all the attendees for being with us. Thank you so much. 𝗟𝗏, thank you.
Thank you. I would like to thank again LAU alumni, LAU Continuing Education, and all the attendees who were with us, and looking forward to more ventures soon.
Thank you so much, Dalia.
Thank you, Dalia.
Have a great evening.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.